The other day, I was listening to NPR and they were talking about Bad Bunny. Funny enough.
What is that?
Bad Bunny? He's a Latin artist, trap artist. He's from Cuba?
I have no idea.
Puerto Rico? I don't know where he's from. But he's a trap artist.
I'm not down with that stuff. I don't know anything about anything.
He's dope, man.
Is he?
Yeah, it's just all Spanish. But he's fucking cool. They were talking about him on NPR and shit.
What are they saying? It's just like
That he's like
Latin America's greatest.
just like Latino talent, you know what I mean? Like pushing boundaries and like fashion and like music and all this stuff, and like how much he's giving back to like where he's from and shit. Like he's like a really from a really poor part of I don't know if it's Cuba or Puerto Rico or
Why do you say like that?
I don't know because it's fun.
Is he like?
Hey, cubano. Huh?
Is he like the second coming of Pitbull?
Nah, he's way fucking better.
Really?
He came in. Yeah, I mean, like Pitbull came up in a different time. You know, I think now like you come in. I don't know. He came in a specific.
It's Puerto Rican.
You looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican. But he's fucking killing it. It's fucking dope.
No, I don't think I've ever heard one of his songs.
No.
I think I really dislike Puerto Rican like accents.
Damn.
Not. I mean, it's kind of like this thing with accents. Like we have like the Valley accent, which is kind of like kind of like whatever. But I really hate the fast talking like, "Oye chico, como no." And then I think it's like Ecuadorian. Fuck. Sorry.
Hey, whoa, man.
Whoa.
We're moving up in the ranks over there. You can't be talking trash about them Ecuadorians.
They do like the Californian like upspeak, or like when they end the sentence like they're asking questions, like but they're doing statements like, "Oh, tienes la agua." I don't know how to do it, but it's just like they're asking questions, and then it's just like, okay, now I get why people hate the upspeak thing.
I kind of like I worked with a couple people like that they would talk like that.
Yeah, I just
hermano, and I was like, dude, you're cool. I don't know.
It doesn't. I don't hate it. Like I'm just not. I can't stand it or anything. It just kind of like annoys me after a while.
There's a part where my grandma's from in Mexico, like a specific part of the mountain, if I can say that they speak like that, like in question, like, pues no sé, aquí estamos y nunca llegamos. Y vamos a ir así, así pasó. Y vamos a ir para allá. And that every time, dude, they talk like that. And I'm just like, are you fucking asking questions or are you stating things? Like, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. Like, I went to go get a Subway at the food court, and there was a lady and her daughter behind me, like, just talking, and they had that accent. I'm just like, oh. I don't know.
It's intense.
Yeah.
It's just like, my little cousin, you know how kids, they pick up on shit, right? Real quick. My little cousin, Angel, he went over there when sometime this past year, 2018, and he stayed over there for a week, and he came back talking like, pues que vamos a ir para allá, y vamos a ir. And I was just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you talking like that?
Snap out of it.
Dude, I pick up on people's accents and like I can't drop it. Like if I hang out with a certain type of person, I'll be like I don't know. I'm weird. Like I think if I went to England for like a day, I'd probably talk like them.
And it's so weird, the accent here. Like it's not really like it's like a unique type of. Actually, no, I don't think it's that unique anymore, because Cardi B, she's from the Bronx, but she sounds like she's from the Rio Grande Valley. Like that's why I despise her music. Like I just can't.
Yeah, I can't listen to her music.
It's just like she sounds like a dumb person, and I'm pretty sure she's great and everything, but she just sounds like a dumb person to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't fuck with it. Whatever, you know, if people think it's cool, but
yeah,
I can't just. I'm gonna listen to Cardi B today. You
Yeah.
know? Like, never done it. I never thought I would listen to well, not that I never thought because there's some songs I guess, but I don't know them by name. But Bruno Mars, like he has some songs that I don't even know. Like I'm like, oh, who's this? And then my girl be like, oh, it's fucking Bruno Mars. I'm like, oh shit.
I fucking love Bruno Mars.
Well, there's a song called "In the Sky" or what is it with Gucci Mane and Kodak Black.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how it goes. It's like It's like da I stay fly, something 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 in the sky, right? Something something in the sky. You heard that one?
Wake Up in the Sky.
Wake Up in the Sky. It's
Okay.
like this. I didn't know he was. It sounded to me. It sounded like a girl's voice, and I thought it was a girl with them. And then I saw the video, and I'm like, Bruno Mars. I'm like, what song is this? And I heard it, and I'm like, I like this song. What the fuck? I didn't know it was Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, I really like Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift. Like, it's just like people like to bash on them or whatever, but it's just like
the guy who hates everything.
their music is
Like,
Fuck Jesus. I like Taylor Swift. I like it, man. I dig it.
I worship them legs, dog. No, but just besides that, like her music, like it's poppy and it's kind of like whatever, but like some of it is okay.
That's how I feel about. I felt or still feel because I haven't heard any of her new music. But Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
I liked her music. It was fucking.
It's pronounced Gaga.
It was experimental. It was like.
And Katy Perry to like at a certain point, like I was just like, okay, I like this. Like it's just the right amount of like pop that I like.
I'll tell you one thing. That's why I did like working at 9 West because their radio player, like for the stores and stuff, they had music like that. And it was Voguey and shit. And I was like, dude, fuck, this is fucking crazy.
Don't get me started with
Fucking
that shit.
vibing, dog. I'm fucking vibing.
I liked
over
it.
here.
I really liked it.
A guy that works for us was like, oh, at my old store, like we would play Spanish music. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Nobody wants to hear that shit. He's like, no, people would come in there. It puts them in a good mood to shop. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I like rancheras and banda and shit like that. When I'm
Yeah.
in the mood, like I'll
Yeah.
listen to it.
It's
Just
just
my
like,
dad would listen to it a lot.
You
I
want to
don't
go
know.
shopping
It's
for
like,
shoes and listen to that shit?
I have in my earphones. When I shop, I listen to like all kinds of fucking music. Since I listen to fucking Javier Solis, the Prince of Bolero.
I mean, you really look like Marco Antonio Solis. El Buki.
El Buki. I like that
What
shit.
y'all talking about?
We're going to put a photo of Alex, a photo of El Buki, and a photo of Jesus. And you have to distinguish who's who.
And still fuck Jesus.
No.
No, but I discovered. I mean, I didn't discover, but like when we used to work at a Dollar General up in Kingsville, they had all the oldies, like the station that was like oldies music. So it was like 60s, 70s, and I think up to the 80s, like some of it. And it's just things that I've never heard. And I was just like, oh fuck, Diana Ross fucking slaps.
Oh my god.
Diana Ross slaps. Yeah. I realize I get a lot of my taste not in the music that I'm choosing to listen to. Oh wait, no, let me say that again. Not the music that I'm listening to, like not the taste, but like how and why I choose to listen to certain music from my dad, because he shows me music that he listens to and like the genres he likes, like all that banda and like narco corrido shit.
Yeah,
and he listens to very obscure artists that like not many people like. Like he's a hipster almost, you know what I mean? And like in his genre of music, he's like, yeah, I like this early stuff. Like now he's like, and I'm like, I realize I'm kind of like him. Like when I listen to what I choose to listen to, you know what I mean? And like what triggers my ear. Like,
yeah, and my dad.
I like these specific melodies and parts and shit. My dad does it.
Yeah, my dad has like certain groups from Texas and like northern Mexico. So it's just like that region. It's like regional stuff, and just like if you go further down in Mexico, you're not nobody's gonna hear this. Like
Yeah.
But if you go further up, like above Texas in the United States, nobody's gonna hear this either.
Yeah.
So it's just this regional thing, and it's just like they're super famous in this one region, and it's good music, but like it's just obscure.
Yeah.
And it's always like, and then you look up on the YouTube comments, it's like saludos de Mexico or de Tamaulipas or like cities in Mexico, like northern Mexico, and it's just like okay.
And
cool.
the random one guy from like Belgium.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what you're saying, but I like the accordion because they're fucking. Yeah.
Well, this is that video of some guy. He's like, this is for some Texas like accordion singer. I forget his name, and they're like from German. They're German, and like they start singing like Tejano with like their accordions and stuff because it's like this kind of the same music.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just and then I saw another video like under it, and it was like he came all the way from Germany like a couple years later, and I played a actual concert with this dude, like his idol, like accordion idol.
Shit.
So I was like, that's the shit that the internet was made for, like connecting
Yeah,
people.
straight the fuck up.
Well, I'm gonna go see Justin Timberlake next week.
That's fucking
Okay,
awesome.
Yeah.
why?
You don't like Justin Timberlake?
No.
The Prince of
You,
Pop?
oh my god, I love Justin Timberlake.
Prince of Pop.
He's one of my favorite human beings of all time.
I mean-
Probably number one.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I liked noodle hair Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
the
yeah,
new,
me too.
Not the new Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, no, my parents were kind
Oh,
of
he'd
like
get it anyway.
back in the day, like growing up, it was like me and some guy named George and some her girl named Christina. We would all hang out and we would just like she had all these Teen Bop magazines. She'd give me all the NSYNC stuff, all like because like I was obsessed with NSYNC. I was like, "Fuck Backstreet Boys." To this day,
to this day.
it's all about NSYNC. And so I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go." Like, my dream is always to see either Michael Jackson and also NSYNC, and I want to see Justin Timberlake. So I'm like,
JT.
it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Where are you gonna see him? Where
San Antonio.
When are you going to watch Michael Jackson?
Dude, spoilers.
Hologram, baby. Holograms, bro. I think he's going in 2018.
When like in sync, I was just like, oh, like that's cool. I didn't back when my English was pretty bad. Like it's still pretty bad right now, but like when I didn't know what some words meant, I was like, why they're in the sync? Like in sync, huh?
Because they're in sync, dog.
I thought like they're inside an actual sink. That's what I meant. Like
okay.
In async.
Yeah, I just have this like unhealthy obsession with NSYNC and Justin Timberlake. Like every inch of my room was covered in like NSYNC or
That's dope.
Justin Timberlake stuff, like the behind my door.
That was my sister,
Like-
my older sister too.
Yeah, and so it was like unhealthy. My ceiling was all covered in NSYNC. There was thumbtack holes everywhere in my room, and it was just I don't know, man. And it was so funny because like I was having dinner one night with my wife and a couple of her friends. I was telling them like, yeah, I had this like really weird obsession with Justin Timberlake. Like, I love him as a person. Like he's so fucking cool. Like I idolize him, and I mean the guy could dance. He can sing. He can funny.
Act.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious on
SNL.
SNL.
He's fucking funny.
And so I was just telling him like, oh yeah, I used to have all these things, and I was like, man, like I don't know, it kind of like it was weird for a little like kid to have all this stuff, a little boy especially, and then he was like, dude, I've never related to you more than right now. He's like, because I was the exact same way.
yeah.
And so I was like, that's crazy cool, like that somebody else was.
I was the same way, but not with Justin Timberlake. I was the same way with Hillary Duff. I used to be in love with Hillary Duff, like the same way, like posters everywhere, like get magazine cutouts and just like paste them on the wall, and it's just insane.
I don't know who it was, but I don't remember which Power Rangers it was from. But there was like a black girl as the Yellow Ranger one time.
Aisha.
Was that her? I was obsessed with her, dude.
Why?
I don't know, because she was black. Because like I took out the helmet and I'm just like, what is this mysterious skin color?
So
I
exotic.
was just like, yes. I was just like, dude, this like it turned me on. As a kid, I didn't even know what turning on was.
God.
My first my little baby boner. You know what I mean?
And
and even when she put on the helmet, I knew who was under there. That she'd be fucking fighting and shit, dude. That shit fucking turned me on.
Oh my god, that's so fucked up.
What? It did, man. It was fucking awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
I remember having thoughts like, no, that's not gonna be sexual, but just having thoughts like, it's so embarrassing.
One day you're gonna meet her and you're gonna like fall in love with her.
Not even that. Like just as a kid, like I was like in elementary or like going to middle school, and I was just like, because it was like rerun episodes. You know what I mean? That was already before my time and stuff. And like, I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm gonna find my own Yellow Ranger. Like, that's how I thought of her, bro. That's how I thought of her. One day I'll find my own Yellow Ranger, and like, but it was supposed to be her. You know what I mean? Like, oh, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's me. That's like my thing. And then I have obsessions with animated characters too. This is weird. I'm gonna marry one, just like that guy married the hologram or whatever he married.
Yeah, it's a hologram.
That's ridiculous, dude. I'm super stoked. I can't wait. It's my wife's birthday too, so we're
nice.
just gonna go spend the weekend in San Antonio. Probably go to
next
Austin.
week?
Yeah, next Saturday. I'm gonna go see her.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Can't wait, dude. This is like a lifetime thing for me. Because Barbara was like, "Hey, are we gonna go?" She's like, "I want to go to a concert. What do you want to go see?" And we're like, "Oh, let's go see Bruno Mars because we both love Bruno Mars." And then she was like, "Well, Justin Timberlake's performing on my birthday." And then she's like, "But she wants to go see Bruno Mars more." I'm like, all right, let's go do that. And so she looked up the tickets, and they were like $400 each.
For
So
Bruno
like,
Mars?
Yeah, so we're like, okay, no. So then we looked up Justin Timberlake, and we got really good seats for a really good price. I don't want to say how much we spent, but we got really good seats, and like it was so weird because like the zone that we're in, like 2 rows in front of us, like $270 a ticket. The row behind that one, like $240, and the row behind that
Was
where we got, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, like we're gonna be super close like to the stage because it's in the center. It's like a figure 8 and stuff, and they're gonna have like all the fucking stuff. And like I've been looking at, I follow them on Instagram too, so I've been watching. They just went on tour like last week, so we're gonna get like Prime, JT.
I wish I could have seen like, because I've seen the videos on YouTube, but like when Michael Jackson would perform, right, and when like Usher and JT were on their prime, their epitome of their stuff, you know what I mean? Like he would bring them out, and they would all just be like, because they can all sing and they can all fucking bust moves and shit, and they'd all be on the stage together, like, you know, like generations of the same type of music, but in their own. I don't know. I just love that, like, seeing that type of stuff. I've never been to a big concert, like something like that.
This is my first huge concert. Yeah.
Dude, that's gonna be
I saw Blink 182. That was probably the biggest concert that I've ever been to, and that was awesome. This is their tour right after the plane crash with DJ AM and Travis Barker, the one they survived. And like they came back just to do like a one more tour thing, but then they ended up touring for another few years. But we saw them on their comeback, and it was fucking incredible.
That's dope. The biggest one I seen was at the Austin 360 amphitheater thing, the HEB. It's like the HEB like lawn, whatever. Anyway, we went to go see Tribal Seeds because me and my friend thought they were like headlining. They were the opening act.
Oh, fuck.
And we were like, okay, like, and there was still a lot of people, and the headliners were 311. I didn't even know. But I don't even like 311. That's not my generation shit. Like, not that it has to be, but I just don't like the music. We literally Sublime with Rome was there before 311, and we watched everything up to Sublime with Rome, and then 311 came on, and we were just like, let's take off. So we just took off. But everybody lost their shit for 311. That's like my older sister likes 311. That was like when she was like.
It's a very specific person out there that likes 311.
Yeah,
I don't even know what 311 is.
They sing Amber. Amber is the color of your energy.
Oh, okay,
it's like rock,
I mean,
rockish with
Sublime,
some
so,
reggae, right?
yeah.
A little bit.
It's
more rock, isn't
their
it?
radio stuff's more rock, but like all their shit's reggae, like waka 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 type shit.
Oh, kind of like
It's
the
just
Dirty Head and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dirty Heads was there, and they were fucking awesome.
Dirty
Yeah?
Heads is better than.
Dirty Heads was fucking
The
awesome.
311.
Dude, they can perform.
Dude, let's bring back ska.
Fuck no, dude. I can put up with a little bit of ska, like, and I joking around, like as a kid, like I would watch like Clueless, and like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones were in that movie, and like there was one guy, the hype guy, who would just be fucking dancing the whole fucking time. It was like, I want that job.
I want that job. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Or the guy who danced next to Selena.
I wonder if JT would do anything like special for like, I don't know, just like tribute
For me?
stuff for like Michael Jackson. I don't know.
He does a couple of covers.
That'd be fucking. That's so fucking awesome. Is he the only act, or is there like he has?
Oh, I have no idea. I just know it's just Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids.
So
the Band of the
dope.
Woods.
Oh my god, dude.
So
2020. I love that fucking album.
yeah, I can't fucking wait. And I've watched the Justin Timberlake movie thing concert on Netflix like 4 times, and each time I'm just like, oh fuck.
Oh, that reminds
Now I
me.
need to watch it with my fucking Bose soundbar.
Oh
Yeah,
Dude.
That reminds me to watch the Taylor Swift Redemption Tour on Netflix.
Oh, you seen that?
Nah, I haven't seen it,
Oh,
but
you want to?
I feel like it's good.
I saw that Lady Gaga thing on Netflix. It's like that documentary.
Oh, where she's topless.
It's Lady Gaga.
It's Lady Gaga.
It's Lady Gaga.
Who says that?
She does.
Hipsters.
Anyway, it's fucking cool. It's really fucking crazy.
Okay, speaking of documentaries and like artists and stuff, do you guys seen this R. Kelly documentary?
What is going on with R. Kelly?
Yeah, I don't. Is
I
it
just
back
see
again
all these
with,
memes.
because I know he had issues before. Because I know only through Dave Chappelle that the whole "I piss on you" that I don't know. So, is it that again, or is it just another thing?
Well, I think there's a report last year that he had that he has like a sex cult. So he has like emerging artists, and like he gets them and like says like, okay, if you stay with me, I'll teach you the ropes of like the industry and whatever.
Yeah.
But then it kind of went to like, I'm gonna teach you how to have sex, and I'm gonna teach you how to please a man. I'm gonna teach you how to like be obedient to your man, and it's like different cities too. Like he has women or like girls basically in LA, New York, like major cities like he goes to, and then this documentary came out how like a lot of women that were girls back then, because he's like a pedophile, have come out and said that he like would pick them out at the concerts and stuff, and like bring them on stage, and then like they'll go backstage and like his handlers were like pick the most vulnerable one and be like, oh hey, he wants to meet you after, and then just talk her
That's so gross, dude.
Yeah.
And what, a documentary came out about that?
Yeah, on Lifetime, like just how like people like the women now speaking out against like what happened, and like and yeah, because it's just like just how crazy how he got away with it. Like he married Aaliyah when she was 15, and he basically faked her like birth certificate for her to be older, for the judge to like get the marriage
the consent.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, he just married this fucking 15-year-old, no big deal. But now that people are just like, wait, that was pretty fucked up. Oh, he peed on an underage girl. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. It's like, you know, like it's shit like that that he's been getting away with, and I don't know.
I heard that he's like saying that he was sexually like molested as a child by his 16-year-old sister.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
like,
he's just trying to fucking pin it on somebody else.
Like, yeah, okay, that happened to you. I'm sorry, but if it did happen to you, but like, doesn't mean you have the right to do that to anybody else. Like, that's not an excuse.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a pop artist. He's a sex symbol, and he has like money. So like, that's just a formula for bad shit to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, and I think also like people are speculating, like a lot of people that were asked to come onto the documentary and like speak against him, like people that he's worked with, and a lot of people declined. So they're like, either they're like, he has shit on them also, or it's kind of like the thing where like they don't want to get involved, and they should speak out. Like people are giving John Legend props because he was on the documentary, just kind of like talking about like him kind being fucked up, and a lot of other people just didn't want to comment. And it's like, okay, well, if you really believe that he's innocent, or like if he's a monster like everybody else is saying, like say something. And they just stay quiet. So a lot of people are speculating like he might have shit on other people in the industry doing the same shit.
Starting out 2019 fucking crazy, huh?
I mean, yeah.
Government shut down. We're not getting our taxes. R. Kelly's pissing on more people.
Speaking of pissing on more people, this is the Laugh and Death podcast. Welcome back, guys.
What up?
My name is David. I am your host for this episode. Alongside, he only hates everything, Fernando Gonzalez.
What's up, guys?
And the man with the beeps and bloops, the tall boy himself, Zelamata himself, Alex Martinez.
What is up, everybody? Guys? How y'all doing?
How
we doing?
Thank you for checking us out over here at youtube.com/Laugh and Death, and at our Instagram at Laugh and Death Podcast. If you are watching us right now and you aren't subscribed, go ahead and do us a favor. Click that little subscribe button at the very top. We'll wait for you. Thanks for that. And then you can subscribe to us over at our iTunes. Leave us a review.
You
can follow us on Spotify and on Google Podcast Services.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. I mean, crazy topic about R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. I mean, all these memes started coming out. I haven't followed anything, but thanks for the update, because like I was entirely.
I mean, I probably butchered all that, but he's just a piece of shit. That's all you need to know.
He is a piece of shit. That's
I
crazy.
like some of his music, his old stuff, but
I mean, who doesn't like "I Believe I Can Fly"?
And trapped in a closet. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, for some reason, like
for 26 parts.
That
Spencer made me watch that shit one time.
Yeah, like that caught my attention like so hard. I was just like, oh, "This is pretty good." But then I started watching all the other shit. I was just like, "Oh."
It got too ridiculous for me, and I was just like, okay.
I mean, the first part was pretty good. It's just the suspense of it, like just like what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, and then I like when he's like, he censors himself when he cusses. He'll go boop.
He does it himself.
Yes, you're such a boop. Like you don't see him do it, but in the audio you hear it. I don't know. It's just like creative, but like, and the beat was fucking dope. But anyway, he's still a piece of shit. That's fucking. I mean, all that. Okay, crazy.
No, sorry. Let's get into this real quick. What about? There's a lot of people saying like, sure, he's a piece of shit, but you have to separate the art from the artist. Like,
no,
is that kind of the shit where you're like, okay, maybe we should. Like Kevin Spacey's trying to do this whole comeback thing.
With that video he dropped.
Yeah, like trying to be like, let me be Frank, like
Yeah.
Frank Underwood from
see
Netflix
that?
show.
Kevin
No.
Spacey. He released a video in character.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like innuendo to like the reality of the situation, and also him still being in character and being like, "Come on, I'm Frank. Like you guys want me." And
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
What a
crazy.
piece of shit.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, and then it was so funny because after that video dropped, I think it was like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something. Like there was like reports that they have video of him sexually assaulting like a minor, like a boy, like at a restaurant or something.
They're not gonna hate on me.
So you just said no, right? Like separating the art from the artist.
No.
Right? It's all together.
Yeah, like
So, I mean,
Tyler Perry.
like comedians. That's why like, comedians fight though for that. Like they're saying like, I mean, what I'm saying is a joke.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like what I do on stage shouldn't be reflected on what I'm saying in real life, and and most of them are like, but for the most part, I'm saying the same shit in real life. Like
Yeah, like this, the comedians Louis C.K. is trying to come back into like the comedic world, and I think the latest set that he had people recorded, and it was like him just bashing like the Parkland shooting kids, and like just saying like, oh, like poor me, basically I got screwed over by the social justice warrior thing. And it's like, okay, who are you pandering to? Like your audience was just like, okay, he talks about shitty stuff and like it's funny because I can relate to that. But then he did it, like he masturbated in front of women that he didn't want him to do that.
yeah,
And then people were like, what the fuck? And then he got shut out, and then he's trying to come back, and now people are like, okay, you're not that cool anymore. Like nobody gives a fuck about you. So now he's trying to find another audience, and he's trying to like go after like all the alt-right, like the edgy comedy stuff.
Yeah, but joking about pulling your dick out and jerking off in front of a woman, and then it being a part of your bit in your show, because it was an older bit for him.
yeah.
Like, that's just reality. So he's really doing this shit. It's not for comedy's sake, because he was doing it. So he's a piece of shit.
And it would be a different thing if he just did it to these women and he apologized to them, and like it was just like, okay. But he also railroaded a bunch of like their careers. Like he's just like, you're not gonna say shit, because if you say shit, you're not gonna work in this industry anymore. Because he had so much power over them, and there's a lot of comics that like they just felt uncomfortable and didn't do comedy anymore. Like we could have had a lot of better comedians or like lady comedians coming up, and he could have just ruined their careers. I mean, yeah, it's like debatable, sure, but like I'm saying, like he fucked up people's careers, not just jerked off in front of them. Like he also fucked up their careers, which makes it extra shitty.
Yeah.
But also Bill Cosby. Like, he was like on television, he was one of the first like African American males who was like, all right, it's okay to be a family man, all this other stuff. Like, he was a role model for millions of people. And then for him to be a complete monster, like, are you going to be like, yeah, but he was a role model back then, but he's been doing this shit for 40 years, 50 years, like drugging women and raping them when they're asleep. Like, are you going to excuse that because he was a role model at the beginning? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a artist I used to listen to, Front Porch Step. He has like emo songs and stuff, and it was just like, I like this stuff. And then it came out that he was trying to like sex like underage girls, and I think he went to jail for like a while for it. And it's just like, and every time I still have his music in my playlist, and sometimes when it comes up, I'm just like, do I want to be listening to this? Like,
After knowing like what he's
like just the mindset of him, whatever, like the things that he's saying in like the songs, and like, sure, it doesn't have to be all like his feelings or whatever, but it's still like, I don't know, like it feels skeevy, and I'm just like, okay, I need to change this. And sometimes I'm like in the mood to listen to the song, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it, but that's still in the back of my head. Like, it not once does the music come on and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just this guy. Like, oh no, it's this fucking pedal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it is hard to separate the art from the artist, but people do it all the time, and it's kind of the thing where like, okay, well, where do you draw the line? What is bad enough for you? And I think we kind of agree like pedophiles and rapists and like all of that shit's bad, and we don't want like that. But what if they say something racist? Like, is that line too far? Or maybe not far enough. And
yeah, I got you. I mean, that's an issue. That's a problem that like I know even like I go through it like with the R. Kelly thing, because there's the one song that I like by R. Kelly, which is called "Sex Weed." And I'm like, and I listen to it, and it's like everything about it's fucking awesome. Like the beat, like what he says and shit that I like. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. But and then I think about that shit, and I'm just like, fuck.
I think even then, like when the documentary came out and people started talking about R. Kelly, like his music sales went up because people were buying songs or albums, or just like streaming his music more. On
Publicity's publicity. You know what I mean? Whether it's fucking shitting on your name or not, like. That shit gets everyone's attention, and it's fucked up.
So Kanye West's interview with Joe Rogan's supposed to post any day now, either today or tomorrow.
Did he already do it?
Yeah.
They posted about it, right?
Yeah, and also Joe Rogan put on his Marshall Rogan, which is his golden retriever's Instagram page. It's a video of Marshall like wagging his tail, like waiting for the Kanye West podcast to drop. I'm like, holy shit, I can't fucking wait.
Everything.
But the only thing is, I hope that Joe Rogan isn't like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Like, you're totally normal. Like, no, like, he needs to ask, like, the hard questions and be like, why are you so fucking stupid? Like, I know that the media is trying to depict you one way, but you're not helping yourself, man, like, at all. Like, you're losing credibility, and eventually you're going to lose everything. Yeah, so.
And then you say all that, and then, have you ever tried DMT?
He's like, that's cool. Have you ever tried making a beat on DMT?
Yeah. Fucking shit like
it's so weird how like most of Joe Rogan stuff is always live. I mean, I haven't listened to him like in over a year, but most of it is live on YouTube, like as a recording. So I wonder if it's like a Kanye thing where like, no, we have to pre-record it, and then we have to have my team edit it and other shit. Like know. I'm pretty sure Kanye is not like just gonna go, hey, let's do this, let's do it live. That's where it goes. I think it's going to be edited around.
I mean, well, yeah, the audio side's edited already because he does his bumpers, the intro and the outro and stuff like that. But that's crazy.
And then they also even have the JRE clips where they have like specific moments and shit. That's going to be interesting as fuck because Kanye sometimes, like when he has interviews, like sometimes he'll be going like, okay, this is fine. And then just like a sharp right turn, like, okay, what the fuck? Like, you set yourself up for failure on that one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's intentional or whatever, like, scoop diddy whoop, but fuck.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I wanted to get into this thing for coming up. It's already been a long time coming that voice in technology has been a thing, but even like, I don't know, the evolution and then the de-evolution of radio as well. Mm-hmm. Like radio has been around for a long time, and radio shows, and then like it went to TV, and then now it's like kind of going back, like the whole podcast thing, how we're doing it now. Voice is being a thing. So like I like where the voice technology is at right now, as far as like convenience and stuff like that, and like the searching up stuff, and because like
Alexa, play the Laugh and Death podcast on YouTube. I don't know. I feel like that would be a prompt if people have it.
It works.
I did it. I did it on my because I recently got I got it last Christmas, and if it wasn't for me getting it as a Secret Santa gift, I probably would have never. Because I've used one before. Like my friends, they have one. I'm just like whatever. But like I have a Google Home Mini, right? And I mainly just when I come home or whatever, and I'm just waiting for something to transfer on my computer or something, I'll just be like, hey Google, what's the weather like, or what's this like, or tell me it's something like I've even started asking like recipes for like meal preps and stuff to make something healthy and stuff. And I now I set my alarm on the Google Home Mini. I just hey Google, wake me up at 7 a.m. or whatever. Okay, and then I even ask it how much time until my alarm. So many hours, you know what I mean? And like the convenience of it, and like even one night I was sleeping or I was trying to go to sleep and I could not go to sleep to save my life, and I was like, hey, I was in my bed in the dark, and I was just like, I wondered. I was like, hey Google, play a thunderstorm. These are sounds of thunder.
That's fucking dope.
And I was just like, dude, what? Like, and I was just like that for like 3 hours. Like, didn't even go to sleep. I was just listening to it. And I was just like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on like voice technology and like stuff like that?
I absolutely love it. 2018 was the year that I turned my house into like fully automated. I have outlets that are programmed to go off at a certain time. I have light switches that are on my network. I have 4 Alexas in my house. I have I have a freaking Roomba. So I've turned my house into a smart home, and I absolutely love it. I mean, the ease of access to information. Also, like, hey, what's this and what's that, and do this simple math equation or whatever, and it helps out more than you can remember. Like, I made a frozen pizza earlier. I was like, Alexa, set a timer for 11 minutes. Went off 11 minutes later. Went and pulled out my pizza. Had my meal. Like, little things like that are what I can't wait to see what the future holds. And like, I need to get on Engadget and on some other website that I follow. I can't remember right now, but I want to see what's going on CES, because like home automation and Gizmodo. Yes, thank you. I use all those sites just to like track all the future tech, because I want it all in my house. Like,
yeah,
I fucking love that. That's I can turn things on and set things from my phone from across the country.
See, I love technology like that also. Like, and I follow it and like other stuff, but I can't get myself to use it because I'm the type of person that's just like, I don't install new apps on my phone, and like all the permissions for apps I limit them to like the furthest I can and stuff like that. So the voice automation thing, like I don't even have that enabled on my phone. Like Samsung has like a version of Siri that's Bixby, and I don't even like have that set up, and my location's always off. My Wi-Fi is always off. Like when I'm not using it, just so
for what reason?
Just
like what?
Privacy reasons. And I don't know. Like I said before in another podcast. Like I'm pretty sure Google already has all my information, and so does Facebook. And I'm just being like cautious for no reason because it's already out there. But the whole Alexa thing, like I've heard like a bunch of stories of Alexa's communicating to another Alexa, and like you can hear what the other person's doing in the room. Like, just
there's an intercom mode,
or like there are people in the same apartment complex, and somehow they end up on the same network, and like they just hear each other. Like, what the fuck?
That is weird.
Or people getting hacked. Like, I don't know if you've seen this thing where like PewDiePie and this like Indian like music video site or YouTube channel T-Series. They're like in a competition to get the #1 spot on YouTube, and PewDiePie is like has it right now. But somebody went into like all the voice commands like Google Home and Alexas and whatever in his neighborhood that were open to like open Wi-Fi networks, and he's like he put a message into it being like, "Hey, subscribe to PewDiePie on YouTube. Also, your network is unsecure, so you might want to fix this." Like, I don't. Maybe it's not that bad. But if you have everything connected,
still like,
yeah. But I mean, it's pretty cool because I saw a video that Google did, and it's Google Home, and it's this guy. He's paralyzed from like the neck down, and he uses a bunch of like Google Minis that are connected to his bed, his TV. His air conditioning, his fan. Like, it's just like, hey Google, turn the fan on, and the fan turns on. Fix the bed, and the bed just like levels up, or like, you know, it's just things like that help people. So I feel like it is pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess like me and my girl was sleeping we were asleep, right? And I put an alarm on my phone, but I put one 30 minutes earlier on my Google Home Mini, and I didn't tell her that I had the Google Home Mini connected, so. The alarm started going off, and she was just like hitting me, and I'm just like, and I hadn't heard the alarm yet. It was my first time, so I didn't know what it sounded like, and I was like, what the fuck is that noise? And I was like, oh shit, it's the Google Home Mini. And I was like, hey Google, stop. And then I went back to sleep. And she was just like, did you just say, hey, Google, stop? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the Google Home Mini that I got. And I was like, I don't know. It was just cool. And then I showed my dad it, too. I was like cleaning my room up and stuff. And I was like, hey, Dad, come over here. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, check this out. And I was like, it was New Year's Day. And I was like, hey, Google, is HEB open? Let me check, right? And HEB is open today, but given it's New Year's Day, it will affect the hours or whatever. And my dad was like looking around like, and I was like, oh, it's this thing, like, you know what I mean? And like, you can play music and stuff.
We used it on, I use it every day, but I asked, I'm like, Alexa, where can I find mimosas today? And it was like, oh, there's these 2 restaurants. It's Birdie Bees in McAllen and some other one. You want me to check the hours? I'm like, yes. And it told me all the information. I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
I want to get the one that's like the Amazon show or like Echo show, where it's like it's the whole system of the Echo Alexa thing, but it has a screen on it.
Yeah, that's my next thing I want to get.
Yeah, and you can do like video conference. Like,
oh yeah.
Hey, what? Stop or like drop in on wherever, and then if they you have to have the permission enabled so they can.
Or like Portal, is that the new one that I've been seeing? Right,
yeah.
Portal, and it's like this. It's the parents, right, of this girl in the commercial, and the girl's like, oh, hey guys, she's cooking or whatever, and her grandparents, they're in different homes, right, and the grandparents walk into the house, and the girl's like waiting for them to arrive or whatever, and they're like, hey, we just got back home or whatever, right? She's like, oh, we just got back home from the party, and she's like, oh, was it an ugly sweater Christmas party? And the grandparents were wearing like sweaters, and they were like,
no,
what? No. Right? And she was like, oh my God, no, I didn't mean that, right? And the dad was like, oh, is it a burnt cookie Christmas party over there? Because she's like cooking cookies and stuff. I don't know. That was cute, but like it's funny, like
yeah.
And I didn't realize it was. I thought they were at her home. And I saw the commercial again, and I'm like, wait, they're fucking speaking through their
because they do that
portal things.
They do that thing where like the girl's cooking. There's another one with the girl's cooking, and then she's asking her dad like directions to like a spaghetti or something, and then he's like, she hears the doorbell, and he's like, okay, like what's his name? He's like, Dad, and then like it cuts out, and like it's him on the little screen, so it makes you feel like he's sitting at the counter, just like. Telling her know what to do.
That's what I'm saying. I thought they arrived at her house, and then I was like, wait, no, they're speaking through screens and cameras. That's fucking crazy.
It's fucking Wally, dude. It's going to be coming to Wally. You could have a chair with everything.
Yeah, right.
I love it. Like, honestly, one of the best investments was getting a smart home companion, and then setting up all like my lights and telling like, Alexa, turn on theater lighting, and then the theater lighting turns on. Alexa, turn off chandelier. Turns off the chandelier. Alexa, how long is it going to take me to get to work today? It's like, you might want to select another route because it knows the route I typically take. Yeah. And then there was an accident, so she saved me from getting
dying.
Yeah, exactly. So she told me to go a different route. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now I can't wait because I think it's either this month or next month that they're going to release the Alexa Auto, which is a little tiny little block that goes inside your car, connects it through a USB, and connects into the auxiliary cable. So you can say, Alexa, play the Laughing Death podcast, and it'll play it for you. And it controls your radio just by connecting to it. And I fucking love that.
The Alexa skin, and you just put it on your arm, and then it tells you, oh, your heart rate level is going up. And then, like, you need to take a shit. Oh, fuck. Before you know you need to take a shit. You know?
And it's so weird how it's just like Amazon has all this information when they're already like, Jeff Bezos is the richest person on earth. Like, that's
not anymore.
Well, I'll get to that. But it's like, it's like supervillain type stuff. Like, if he wanted to, he can be like, you're all my slaves now. Like, I have all your information. You're mine.
I know that I think on Rooster Teeth, they were talking about like how there was a certain frequency that these smart home companion devices could, a hacker could go in there and at certain decibels that are death to us, but they're like subliminal messages. Like, imagine like, oh, you started going to this one restaurant because somebody's playing an advertiser to put that like
in your head,
and you're just like, oh man. I mean, and so they were like, oh yeah, no, they took that frequency out. And I'm like, through a patch or whatever, through an update. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even hear it. How the fuck would I know? You know what I mean? Like, why do I suddenly like going to Khan's Grill. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
Exactly.
Some fucking crazy shit.
So you were saying
Jeff Bezos is the richest man on earth so far because he's getting divorced. And
the richest couple in the world is getting a divorce.
yeah, he's worth what, $167 billion, and
She's entitled to half of it.
I mean, I don't know their prenup situation, but if they just do like the half and half, even if she gets $1 billion, like I'm pretty sure she's fucking set for life. I mean, she's set for life either way, but
Regardless,
I think he goes from like the most wealthy person on earth to like the third, and she becomes the fourth.
as a woman, yeah, the richest woman,
and the richest woman
over Oprah.
Just
Crazy.
how crazy is that?
But dude, this chick's been with him
For 25 years.
For 25 years since the beginning of Amazon. So you know that they probably didn't have a prenup.
Yeah.
This is back when it was like death do us part. Like, and now fuck, she's gonna be super rich.
I think, oh man, he's so rich. And I think, I mean, it's probably a myth, and I don't know where I heard this from, but it was like somebody said that a friend of another friend that knows some other dude that works security at this other firm, but he heard it from some other guy.
Yeah.
That Jeff Bezos has like a circuit tunnel under his house to like escape if like shit hits the fan.
I believe it.
And it goes into like a submarine that's like fully loaded and like just a death machine,
which leads to a fucking spaceship that
I mean
lands on Mars that has a fucking camp. You know
like I don't know where he lives, but like it's like it leads to like a submarine at a lake, so he can escape. And like I was like, yeah, like of course, like
yeah, like if I had that money, why wouldn't I? You
just
know what I mean?
just for the fucking like give me that submarine package. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, right. Jesus, fuck.
I would totally do that.
Yeah, like who wouldn't? You know?
Yeah. I wonder just like the amount of shit you do if you had billions of dollars. Like what? I feel like people say like, oh, if I become a millionaire, like I'm gonna buy this big house, or I'm just gonna like pay off mom and dad's, and I'm not gonna change my lifestyle. But it's just like, no, I think you just buy shit just to buy shit.
No, yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's a perfect example of like when I used to work at Zoomies, making like, you know, $150 every 2 weeks to going to work up north, making like $800, $900 a week, and I was just like buying dumb shit.
Yeah,
I have nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, stupid. You know, like you just the fucking like the human want. You know what I mean? Like just wanting shit. You know, like I want a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it never ends. It's never gonna end.
But yeah, it's so crazy how just they get divorced, and it's just like, oh, you just become from the first to like the third or fourth richest people on earth still. Like that's how much money they have. And I think it was like a crazy stat where if you were to earn $1 for every second that since your birth, it would take like a week to get $1 million, but it would take you like 34 years to get $1 billion. Like you don't think about how much money
That's fucking insane.
or how much $1 billion is like compared to like, because you hear like millionaires, billionaires, it's like, okay, it's just the next step above, but no, it's like the next fucking step above.
It's a huge leap.
Yeah.
Like they were saying that in 1 second of work, that Jeff Bezos makes $51,000 a second.
He fucking blinks, you know, in half of a second.
So they were. I mean, topics have come up, but it's like, dude, he's making so much money. Like when he has to go take a shit, like he's still making money.
I think it was like if he had like a fucking like $100 bill and like he pulls it out and it falls and it blows off in the wind, he's just like,
he doubled it already.
Yeah,
like, he's just like
power, dude.
oh, like I'm pretty sure he can sit and just like just throw $1 bills out his car window, like driving down the highway, and be like, I could do this forever and never run out of money.
Yeah.
I don't think $1 bills even exist in his fucking in his world.
Does he even carry cash? Do you think he would carry cash?
I don't carry cash, but if I was a billionaire, no, I'd have a black card that's made out of fucking titanium, and
He probably has shit in his wrist that's like nobody can fucking take.
RFID
my shit.
chip
It's all
and just like,
fucking,
doop.
yeah, it's all retina, my homie. Like,
Do the fucking nut scan.
yeah. Weigh your nuts. I saw a meme like that. Anyway, I was speaking of cash. I also hardly ever carry cash on me. It becomes more of a hassle than anything, I think, sometimes. And that's like also like, it's like the ultimate scheme of like, oh, people didn't trust when plastic started coming out, the cards and stuff. People were like, oh, we can't be, that's just a gimmick. That's just like a thing for now, like a fad. You know what I mean? Like the internet, like it was just a thing. Everybody's gonna be holding on to cash and coin. But when will the end of physical currency come? You know what I mean? Because I had not an example, but yesterday or 2 days ago, I was filling up my van with gas, and I had a $50 bill, and it wasn't my $50 bill. I'm broke as shit, so I'm not a billionaire. And my dad gave me $50, right? And he's like, here, go fill up the van with gas, right? So like, I go up to the Circle K, and I'm like, hey, can I get $30 on this, whatever? He's like, gives me the 20 back, and as I'm walking out, I feel the 20, and it's like hanging on to, like, it's ripped almost at a quarter of the bill. It's like ripped, and it's barely hanging on by a thread, dude. Like, it's just fucked. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And my first reaction was just like, nobody's gonna take this shit from me. You know what I mean? So I go back to the cashier, and I'm like, hey man, can I get a different 20 than this? And his first response was just like, why, man? It's fine. Anybody would take it. And I was just like, dude,
then fucking take it.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, well, I don't want to take it. You know, and I was just like, can I just get a different 20? That's my last 20. And he opens the register, and he had nothing but fives and ones. And I was like, just give me 4 5s. And he was like, real moody about it, right? And I got the 4 5s, and I was just like, man, when the fuck would, like, I could have avoided that. You know what I mean? If currency was just, I mean, physical currency was just a non-existent thing. Right?
Yeah. And it's kind of like a thing where the penny, like, people want to get rid of it because it costs more than it's worth.
Like to make?
Yeah. Like, because it's not like it's not copper anymore, so it's like a cent, but like it costs like, I don't know, it's just
it's fucking funny. That's ridiculous.
It's just the kind of shit where like, if we get rid of this 1 cent, like, we don't make it anymore. It's still in circulation though, but we don't make it anymore. It saves the government like so much money. I forget the stat.
I guess the only thing that what you would have to wait for that is like, because there's so much population. Yeah, they stopped making currency, but there's still businesses still have to accept this tender. You know what I mean? Well, but when do they stop just making it available?
But on the flip side, I took my car to get air on its tires like this past weekend, and it's like this mom and pop shop on the side of the road. And I just thought I needed to like air my tire, and like usually I'll just give them like $1 or $2 because they're just putting air. Like, it's not like a big deal. But he like took it off, and he's like, oh, yeah, I think your rim is messed up. And I was like, oh. So he took it off, and he showed me like, okay, look, see all this thing. There's like a coat around, like in the inside, that keeps the air in. Like, it's flaking off. So when it's flaking off, it's doing this. And he explained to me and like all the other shit, and he put oil on it and like put it back on. He's like, all right, you're good to go. I was like, okay, how much is it? He's like, oh, $7. And I was like, okay, I need to go to the ATM and get out money. He's like, okay, no problem. Like, I'll wait here. I mean, I've been there before, so they know me. So it's not like just somebody random. But it's like, there's some places that are just only gonna take cash. So it's hard to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's the flip side? Like, I mean, those businesses would just either get with the current state, or
it's a thing.
Stop.
It's a thing we were talking about, like subscription stuff too, where like you have to pay a service now to be able to take cards, because you can't just make up your own service to like get cards. So like they're gonna get a cut of what you're making, but if you just do cash, it's just money for yourself. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, that brings in this hassle of like, wait, I have to go here to get out the cash for you, but it's because of the way they have their business set up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is like they're either gonna have to evolve and get with the occurring state of the like currency and where it stands, in whatever future we live in, or however it comes by, or just stop being in business.
But
if physical currency gets out of the equation,
if you think about it, 2 years ago is when majority of businesses stopped taking checks. Like, think about it. Like, checks are only used to cash out, not to pay with anymore. So that currency got taken out. And now if you think about it, and I don't know how sensitive this is, but like on a day's business, how much do you deposit? Approximately 30%. So 30% of people are paying with cash in a day. Majority are with a card, so it's no big deal. There's hardly any exchange. But if you think about it, you're only about 30% of people are actually carrying cash. And that's probably because they don't trust banks. They don't trust. There's certain
or like that mom and pop thing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Which I'm not against. Like I'm more for the local business, but it's fucking tough for that.
I think it's also like an infrastructure thing where like not every place has reliable internet. So because I've been to some mom and pop stops where they have like the card terminal and like I put in my card and it's just like, oh yeah, hold on, it needs to connect to the internet. And then that
was another thing I wanted to go all the way back to touch on of like, oh, they don't have a reliable source of internet or let's just say an electricity or anything. Like that guy that you said he's paralyzed from the neck down and everything's connected. Mm-hmm. What happens when all your shit doesn't work anymore and you're like, oh, I need this room to be at the specific temperature or else I flare up and I get a epileptic seizure or something. You know what I mean? Like what happens then? And you're by yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's always like impending doom at some point. It's probably not going to happen, but sometimes you never know.
And I think the whole China and Russia like superpower hacker thing, it's like there's been attacks towards like our like national power grid or the power grids throughout the country, and it's like they could just decide to flip a switch and be like, okay, you have no power, you have no electricity anymore. And I think China's leading the way to like 5G technology, where to make like phone connections faster. But U.S. like intelligence services are just like, hey, we can't let the Chinese take initiative on this because if they do, they might put in backdoors to connections. So like whenever you're connected to something, China can see what you're connected to, and like we need to have securities in place to counteract espionage by these. So it's kind of, I'm going maybe like a little too far from like our initial discussion, but it's like, okay,
there's so many levels though.
Yeah, you get a card, everybody gets a card reader. What happens when somebody hacks your shit and everything's gone? Like you don't have a physical backup. What happens when the service you're using is like, oh, you keep all your money with us like a bank, and then they get wiped out. It's stuff like that
it's like, oh, you bring something like that up. I don't know if you've seen the commercial for Chime.
Yeah.
The online, like it's an app, it's a banking service.
Yeah.
Just strictly online, you know what I mean? Like, which I'm not like, oh, it's just strictly online because Capital One closed down their banks and like their ATMs and stuff in some rural areas. In San Benito, my parents have been banking with Capital One since before my dad met my mom when he first moved to Texas, and he was like 16, 17.
Fuck.
And he's 55 now, and they just closed off their banks like 2-3 years ago.
But I saw this commercial where they're doing like Capital One cafes, where it's like a Starbucks, and you can go get a coffee and a muffin and do your banking there.
Yeah, I'm just saying is that like, I mean, they fucking closed all that shit down, and my dad was just like, well, fuck, like he's like, I'm not doing shit online. So what's the next? He went to Wells Fargo, and that's where he banks now because they still have a physical fucking location. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just like I saw Chime, and I was just like, what the heck? Like bank with us, like trust us, and like strictly online, super secure, and like security first, and all this stuff. And I'm like, when do we reach the like somebody hacked it and somebody, you know what I mean?
If you're asking when, I predict in the next 10 to 15 years that cash will be the minority. Like,
but it's
it's
gonna have to take like all that time to get there. It's not just gonna one day, right? Like, because you have to take away all the value from the currency.
And there's cryptos also like popping up where some people just deal in cryptos, and like, yes, their market is volatile. Like someday one crypto, like a Bitcoin could be like $1,000, or the next day it could be $2,000. So it would have to be something led by the government and not just corporations. So to keep everything like fair, like, I don't know, like
checks and balances.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing where like, okay, you don't have
checks,
balances.
You don't have a physical currency, but somebody does. Like, but it's not worth more because it's like less. I don't know. Like, I guess we'd have to get to that point. But right now, I think maybe
because even on physical dollar bills or any bill, it says this is a form of tender, like, and it says, doesn't it say like the person receiving it or whatever, like, trusts that this is worth some amount or something, like, or it says something like that. It's like a legal tender, and then you look up like, okay, what if you look up like definitions of like bills and stuff, it'll say like, I mean, the population puts the trust in it that there is worth in it. You know what I mean? There is worth in dollar bills and coins and quarters and stuff, but coins are just minerals from the earth, and you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking insane, dude. Like, and we just put our trust into it, and now our trust is going to the digital numbers, like how many numbers I have in my bank statement or my bank account or whatever.
How many zeros?
Yes. Fuck, dude, it's fucking insane.
It is.
It's just trust from us, like we're giving it the power. You know what I mean? Fuck.
So I don't know. Because you don't trust the government, or you have security issues.
Yeah, not just the government, but like companies having stuff. So much power.
You win. You make $1 billion. Do you keep it in cash or do you keep it in your bank?
I think at that point you have to put it in a bank because, I mean, it's just to a certain amount where you're insured. Like, it's always insurance. So that's what banks provide, and to a certain extent, like, physical things provide. That's what I'm saying. Like, what happens when somebody, like, you have all your money in digital, like, if it's all digital, what happens when somebody hacks your bank and deletes all their records? Like, for them, none of your shit ever existed.
That's true.
So I think it would have to be, there'd always have to be some sort of physical tender to counteract or balance.
But I don't think it's going to be the majority of payments, because like cards are taking over now. You can pay with your cell phone. I can pay with my watch. I can pay with my
music player. Put it in the phone. Now they're getting rid of cameras. They put it in the phone. They're getting rid of the cards. They put them in the phone. When would they get rid of the phone? They put it in the human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't wait.
Camera in the eye. Well, you can't really selfie anymore, right? Unless you have like a 360 prong coming out of your fucking head, like a unicorn.
Yeah.
And it's just, right? That's how it would work, right? I mean,
Yeah. And then when you're done, you have to put it up your ass to store it.
Yeah. Charge it.
To upload it.
Charge yourself.
Fuck. I mean, if you think about how scary banks are, the reason why they put like minimum balance charges on there is to make money off of your money.
Yeah.
Because
it costs money to store money. It's fucking.
So say there's a bank and it has us three, right? And I put in $100. You put in $100, and Fernie puts in $100. That's $300 in the bank. I need a loan for $300. They can't lend it to me because there's only $300 in the bank. Because if you need $20, they need to be able to give it back to you. Now, if you include a bunch of different people and they're borrowing money, or they make a lot more money than we do. Like, we're pretty much it's from a giant pot that we're borrowing money from, but we have this credit with them. And that's so scary to me because, like they just keep getting richer and richer and richer. Like, they keep getting all this money because people are trusting them with their money. And then all of a sudden they can just say, like, no. Or you overdraft and they hit you with a $35 charge and they just made money off of your fucking money. And that fucking enrages me.
Money you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're making money off your time. Is basically what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
The fee should hit after you deposit back in. That's just my idea. Like, you shouldn't go negative and they get hit negative again.
Nah, dude, you're being too smart. You gotta tone it down a little bit.
Fucking banksters, bro. The new gangsters. They've been the new gangsters.
For real,
Banksters.
man. Jeff
All up in
Bezos,
our
dude.
pockets.
That's crazy, dude. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I predict 10 years, 15 years.
I mean, at least America.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
I mean, I don't know.
Fuck the world. I'm talking about us.
And when I say America, I mean Texas, New
Ecuador.
York, California. You know what I mean? Because everything else is flyover states. Joking.
Exactly.
Ecuador.
But I feel like that kind of thing is gonna maybe Japan, where they're so technologically not advanced, because it's kind of like the same thing, but they have more reliance on technological stuff
Yeah.
than your regular like American in these flyover states. So and they have a better infrastructure of internet and stuff like that. Since it's just like an island.
I'm so dumb, dude. As a kid, I used to think of paying for stuff as trades. Like, okay, I'm gonna trade my $20 for that $20 game, and I'd be like, okay, cool. I still have $20 because this game I paid it was $20, and so I was
Loses
just
its value.
as a kid. Yeah, as a kid, I was just so fucking dumb. I'm talking like 19 to 25.
No, yeah, yeah.
But I was thinking like, okay,
still believing shit that
if I work X amount of hours, I can earn
man.
this video game, this shirt, and this. Like, that's how I was like earning things and like trading my funds or whatever with my card to get something. It's so stupid.
But I think at sometimes it's good to think that way, so you can be like, okay, to buy this thing, it's gonna take me so many hours at work. Do I really want to spend my time in this one thing? Like if I'm only gonna use it once or twice.
Yeah, I think also you gotta also put into that same way of thinking that like, yeah, it's our time, but how much of our time do we also spend on just leisure and just fucking throwing it into fucking like
Nothing.
You know what I mean? And just it's fucked. Like we're also like, oh, they're taking away my time, but I fucking spend 3 hours fucking losing every single match of Blackout for what fucking like what outcome am I getting? You know what I mean? There's no validation. There's nothing. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid, really. If anything, I've slowly been creeping up to the thought of like getting rid of my video game system. Well, just because it's taking away so much time from me right now. When I should be investing it into making more beats, and I could just be making more beats, making videos.
Do what makes you happy. That's it.
Beat making makes me happy, but I'm seeing the video games more as a distraction. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm getting just more frustrated than anything.
Does it
else.
make you happy?
I don't think it actually does. I like talking with Frankie and like my friends and stuff. That's fun, but when I'm by myself, I realize I just get angry.
There's this thing where like this podcast I was listening to, they were talking about how millennials were like the burnt out generation, and just because everybody's always connected to internet and social media, so you're always trying to make yourself look better than you are. And like work stuff, like we have our work board that we communicate with, and sometimes we post something and people are not at work and they still read it and like, okay, I need to keep that in mind. But it's not, I'm not talking about us, but like just in general, if you work in an office and people are always sending you emails like, hey, you need to check this on your day off. Like you're always working while you're not at work. And it's just like people don't want to like get behind, like you're saying, like I'd rather spend my time doing something productive than doing nothing at all.
Yeah, whatever's productive to somebody else isn't necessarily productive to me. Like, I'm not a fucking professional gamer, so that's why I feel that way.
Yeah.
If I was like super into gaming where I need to be streaming and like this is what I want to be about, then I would be thinking differently. But I've had these thoughts of like, dude, I should really focus my time, my productivity into.
And it's that thing.
That's what I think.
It's that thing of like being born before and like after a recession. Like the most recent one was in 2008. Mm-hmm. So it's like, or like growing up before and after. It's like, okay, at any moment things can go bad. So I have to find ways to make money every single day, all the time. You can't just be like, I'm just gonna do my job at Sears for like 9 to 5 and have my home and have enough money to send my kids to college and everything like people used to. And it's just like I always have to find a way to make money. And it's all these like gig economies that are like coming up, like Uber, and just doing surveys or just anything online that you can make money, small amounts of money, quick. People are always working for scraps, basically.
I mean, I spent 70 hours in Red Dead, and then I finished it, and I was like, all right, got to the first ending, second ending, third ending. I'm like, I'm done. And I sat there and I'm like, was it worth it? No. But I can't wait to play something else. Like, I'm on to the next thing already. I'm already playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm already like 5 hours in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you could look like this. Somebody can look at me and be like, dude, you're just fucking pushing keys on a keyboard for making, you know what I mean, making compositions that nobody's
bleep
even
bloops.
making bleep bloops that nobody's even gonna fucking hear. Like, why does it make you feel like it's productive for you? And that's the thing. That's because that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like it's totally worth it. I'm just like that ultimately makes me happy.
You
know?
bag groceries at
Like,
HEB, like
writing a
it's
new
the same
rhyme
thing.
is what, you know what I mean, makes me fucking, I don't know why it makes me happy, but it does. But like that's why I've been thinking of like, I feel like video games are slowly becoming like, or just having that thing there, because I'll be sitting there and I'm just there and like here's my PS4 setup and here's my computer and like I'm loading up in the game and I'm also on my phone and I'm just like fuck, like, and I keep looking over and my shit's set up there waiting. I'm just like fuck, maybe I should play some fucking video games.
I love it, dude. That's something I'll never stop doing. I'll be 65 playing video games. I guarantee you.
VR.
I have a VR headset. I have only used it 5 times.
I've used a VR as well. I have a VR headset for my phone only though. Like,
Yeah.
not that's, I mean, you just put your phone in there, but I've only used it for porn. VR porn.
Oh, damn it.
I was telling my friends one time.
We should. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, I was telling my friends one time. I was like, hey, we were on the group chat, right, playing Fortnite a while back, and I was like, guess what, guys? They're like, what's up? And I'm like, I just busted my first VR nut. They lost their shit. And one of my homies, he's really into like the next level of like anything with like sexual pleasure, self pleasure with like porn and stuff. And he's like the boss of it. And he's like, I've tried this 376 like HT whatever like headset. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah. And he's like, how was it, bro? And I'm like, it was legit, man. I was like, this chick was like on my junk, but I was looking over here at this fucking lamp on the shelf because it looked like antique and shit. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I do that sometimes too. Where I'm just like looking around and shit, like, what the fuck's in this room? You know, like, why did they choose to put this stuff in this room?
Oh my God, Alex. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I'm just being honest for my listeners to get to know me.
Oh God.
It's funny, dude.
I mean, I know when I had mine, I like to watch. They had like a free trial for NBA, like Game Pass, or whatever, and you could watch the games in VR. So it's just like the camera angle is in the center court, or you could do it like either side of the hoop. So you can see them like dunk and all this other shit.
That's fucking crazy.
That was pretty cool. So I was like, I kind of get the whole porn angle. Like, yeah, it's gonna be clear. It's gonna be like, oh, cool. I can look around. Hey, cameraman, what are you doing?
Adjusting the fucking. It's so funny, dude. It's a funny image. I guess if I was seeing myself, but as naked, like.
And how imagine somebody walking in on you. You're just like immersed in this thing, and you're just like
VR mode, yeah, staring at a wall, like.
So it's just like, what the fuck?
That's good, man. Technologies, bro. They're fucking. That's what I love. Like, I wonder what like Japan or China has and all that stuff right now. You know,
Dude, CES, man.
No, Japan has that rope like that. It's kind of like a. I don't know where I saw this, but it's like. I saw this video. It's like some Japanese like tech show also, and the guy's just like with the VR helmet, and there's like some kind of doll, and he's not fucking it because it's like in the thing, but like he's just like dry humping it. He's just like, oh, cool, yeah.
Oh, Missy. Uh-huh. So hot.
And like the guy's just like recording him like, what the fuck?
I don't know how to transition out of this, so I mean, I guess we'll just wrap up the show
VR porn.
we'll go into my topic next week. It's fine. I'm totally cool with that.
It's up to you, man.
But thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another Laugh and Death podcast. I'm
sir.
Dave.
Fern.
Zalamata.
Thanks for checking us out over here at youtube.com/Laugh and Death and at Laugh and Death podcast on Instagram. Well, again, just a reminder, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. And hit that little bell so you get notified every time we post new content. This was a doozy.
It was a dizzy.
We had an agenda and we didn't even stick to it. It's great. This is one of the better ones.
But if you have any comments or feedback, just let us know in the comments below. Or like always, let us know what your favorite VR porn is.
Jesus Christ.
Just talk to us. Let us know.
Me know.
Let us know what you think. Yeah, I don't know. Stayed away.
Oh, also, if this is your first ever video you're checking us out on, check out our best of 2018 video. Fernie worked really hard on it. It pretty much puts you inside of all of the inside jokes for the podcast. Especially,
Definitely.
this is a good jumping point for 2019.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
New year, new VR porn.